Hello and welcome to this tour of the early years of the campus of Otaniemi. I am your guide, Krister Ahlström. I studied at the University of Technology from 1959 until 1966. During those years I took active part in the joys and responsibilities of student life, and I continued in the same vein for the rest of my life. Did you know that before Otaniemi campus was built, the University of Technology was functioning in Helsinki? This large building in Hietalahti was the base for technical teaching until 1966. The Technical Students' Union, TKU, had their home in the Jugend Castle in Lönnrotinkatu. Construction of the new campus started in the 50s, but it took until 1966 before it was time to move all the remaining teaching from Helsinki to Otaniemi. The student union decided we would not leave without making a proper impression. So we organized a Tempaus, a public activity the technical students have become so famous for. In order to leave our gentle farewells to the citizens of Helsinki, we carried a 1 kilometer long rope across the streets and gave the major a lapel pin weighing 3,500 kilos, among other things. We were very pleased to note that every newspaper noted our farewells to the mourning citizens next day. You are about to hear some stories from the early years of Otaniemi. Remember that there are many different stories and versions of what happened, and every one of them is true. This happy cow is grazing precisely where the candidate center is today. Construction of the campus started in May 1950, after years of collecting funds and political goodwill. The infrastructure for the village had obviously to be built from scratch. The student union raised millions of marks by organizing lotteries and dance balls across Finland and selling some of the most highly coveted items of the 1950s, nylon stockings and oranges. Otaniemi Stadium and Sporting Hall were among the first buildings on the new campus. The village was set to house athletes for the 1952 Olympics in Helsinki, and the student union had to work around the clock to make everything ready. During the Olympic summer, Otaniemi housed the athletes and the teams from all over the world. The cooks in Otahalli prepared the meals for the hungry athletes, apart from the delegates from the Soviet Union. They had brought their own cooks, who had the ingredients delivered straight from the Soviet Union every day. The first student houses were built along Jämeren Taival in 1951. Students were personally involved in constructing the campus, which made it a communal project everybody felt proud of participating in. The campus was organized hierarchically. Each student house had a housemaster, and together the housemasters formed the board of directors for the Technical Students' Union. Housemasters then informed the leaders of each student apartment about matters decided. The red tiles for the buildings were taken from the old embassy of the Soviet Union, which had been bombed during the war. Brick by brick, the students cleaned and moved 800,000 individual tiles to be used in Otaniemi. The red tiles became a hallmark of the campus area after architect Alvar decided to use it across the campus. The students also built a central radio for all the student houses. There were 4 channels. 2 of them played music, 1 broadcasted the official Yle radio, and then there was the village's own radio channel, Otamöly. Strictly speaking, only the last one of these was entirely legal. Otaniemi was essential for the Students' Union for communicating matters regarding the village and calling the students for voluntary work and social activities. By the way, did you know that it was Ikiteekkari that brought television to Finland? The first regular broadcast started already in 1955. Built in the heart of the village, Servimökki service cabin has functioned as a restaurant and an event center of the campus from the beginning. The hostess of the restaurant got the nickname Servin Maja. Servimökki was known for having the best Wiener Schnitzel in town. During winter, there was an ice road from Munkkiniemi to Otaniemi, and with good weather, there was a constant flow of cars, pedestrians, and cross-country skiers arriving to enjoy a lunch in Servi. Ossi Törrönen, who was the master of the village from 1952 until 1969, has shared many anecdotes about the active spirit among the technical students in his memoirs. As an example, next to the Servimökki there used to be an old restaurant barrack. The Students' Union decided the barrack was too ugly for the village, so they asked Ossi for permission to remove it. With Ossi's consent, it took only one night for the students to move the furniture to Servimökki and tear down the whole building. As an example of the innovative nature of technical students, they designed and installed an alarm system to Servi's cabin. When the system detected a burglar, a bell started to ring in 5 apartments at the same time. During the history of Servi, there were altogether 15 intrusions. Once there were even 2 individual intrusions in one night. All the burglars were captured by the villagers and handed to the police. The engaging spirit of the campus made Otaniemi a must-see for countless delegations from Finland and abroad. When the visitors stayed overnight, they were certainly introduced to the good old rantasauna. The sauna was equipped with a fire alarm system, another invention by the technical students. The bell went off when the sauna's temperature reached 145 degrees Celsius. Soon the bell was heard ringing almost every weekend, since students competed against the bell. The competitive mentality of the technical students became evident on that one February night when the students decided to see who can run the farthest on the frozen ice. The legend has it that one of them ran naked across to Munkkiniemi, asked to get into a bar there, but was harshly rejected by the doorman and had to run back to rantasauna. Otaniemi developed rapidly as designed by Alvar Aalto. Alvar wanted to introduce the campus idea that he had been inspired by while working in MIT. Otaniemi was the first campus in Finland and got a lot of attention at the time. The main building of the Technical University was inaugurated in 1964. The building under construction resembled a labyrinth. In his memoirs, Ossi Törrönen writes that he once had to help the president Jaakko Rahola, who got lost in his own university. The library of Otaniemi was finished in 1969. It is a hallmark of Alvar Aalto's style, now known as the Learning Center. The building received the Finlandia Prize for Architecture in 2017 after an extensive renovation. The most significant effort for TKY was yet to come. That was a new student's main house, Dipoli. It cost 10.6 million marks, a vast amount for TKY at the time. As an example of the communal spirit among the students, 90% of them donated 1 day's wage from their summer jobs to the project. The students also cut down the trees from the construction site. The main restaurant of Dipoli was named Luolamies, the caveman. There were about 24 dining rooms in Dipoli. Due to the strict alcohol serving laws, it was mandatory to define the size of serving areas. It is known that the inspector had to sweat considerably when measuring the angles of the rooms of the Dipoli. Finally, it was announced that there was space for 3,244 customers, which makes Dipoli one of the largest restaurant buildings in Northern Europe even today. During the years, several world leaders, kings and presidents have visited Otaniemi. Longtime President Urho Kekkonen came to campus on several occasions. It was Kekkonen himself who inaugurated the famous Käpy, the cone statue in front of Dipoli. In many of these ceremonies, the Technical Students Orchestra RVBK has been performing, ensuring that guests never forget their visit to Otaniemi. RVBK stands for the Retupere Voluntary Fire Brigade Band. Its music has also been recorded. During his visit, the future King of Sweden, Carl Gustaf, was presented with an LP record to enjoy in his castle. Even if the old Technical University doesn't exist anymore, the enthusiastic, innovative and communal spirit of the students can today be seen everywhere in Otaniemi. Campus life is made of stories. And as we know, stories might differ, but all of them are true.